the pain like.
Hey guys, Yoongi here, and welcome back to my channel. I have uploaded various videos in the past where I discuss multiple K-pop opinions, but today's video is going to be slightly different because we are going to be having a discussion about just one opinion, or more so, one area in particular. Is the ability to sing more important than the ability to dance in K-pop? And also, does the K-pop industry prioritize dancing over singing? The main reason people have been discussing this topic recently follows the comments of EXO member Xiumin, who recently appeared on an episode of the show NCT Universe, LASTART, to pay a visit to a team covering the song Electric Kiss by EXO. Xiumin asked the group if they're practicing singing as well as dancing, and said, "To be honest, singing is more important than dancing. If you can't sing well, no matter how good you are at dancing, you won't look talented." Although it was a short comment and seems like quite a simple tip, Xiumin's comments have created quite a stir on social media, and people had a lot to say. So I'd like us to take a look at both sides of the argument because they're quite interesting, and then perhaps we can discuss in the comments. Let's look at why some people are agreeing with Xiumin that the ability to sing is more important than dance skills. I think this comes from a place of really valuing what goes into making music, and also the work that goes into being a music artist and not a dance performer. I have seen this comment being thrown around a few times where anyone can be a dancer by learning a choreography, but not everyone can be a singer. But let's look at this more in relation to specifically K-pop. We see a lot of people in the West referring to K-pop music and K-pop stars as manufactured and clones of one another, but those of us who actually listen to K-pop and appreciate it are aware that there is a lot more to K-pop than just manufactured groups all copying the same formula. Within the K-pop industry, we have some unbelievable talents, some people who were just born with that natural gift as a singer, and also a lot of people who have worked up their existing bits of skills to an even higher level who deserve their credit too. Because of this, a lot of people will believe that there is much more importance to focus on actualizing your ability as a singer rather than dancing, because the music itself is what will travel and have that longevity. Although we're now in times where doing a 60-second dance challenge on TikTok is a big deal if they go viral, at the end of the day, music is timeless and it'll never lose that importance. The voice of your favorite artists on their best album or their new release is always going to be something you can go back to and stream, for example. Now, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, let's look at why some people are disagreeing with Xiumin and actually believe that singing is not more important than the ability to dance. I think the main reason people have been saying this is simply because K-pop is a different kind of music genre. In some genres, the thing that matters the most is perhaps the instruments that the artists play, or the vocal techniques when it comes to a style such as trot or opera. Whereas when you think about K-pop as a genre, you think more about that total package. Groups expected to have singers, dancers, rappers, visuals, all rolled up into one. That's kind of part of the K-pop experience. When you imagine a stereotypical K-pop song, you don't just want it to have good vocals, there's likely also going to be a strong or at least memorable choreography to go with it. So some people will be thinking that in a K-pop group, if you're perhaps not a strong vocalist, then that's fine, because that just might not be your role within the group, because there will be other people to cover anything such as vocals or more challenging notes. K-pop is one of those industries where group members have a role, so your role might not be the singer, you could be the dancer. You don't have to do both or be a stronger singer to look a talented dancer, because there are multiple idols in K-pop who may be known for their dance skills rather than their singing abilities, but in terms of dance, they're unparalleled. Okay, I would love to transition this video into discussing the question, does K-pop as a genre prioritize dance over singing? But I feel like it's probably wrong to move on without sharing my opinion on what Xiumin said and whether or not I agree or disagree. Unfortunately, it is kind of a tough one to answer because I do genuinely understand both sides of this argument, but I think a basic summary of my thoughts would be that yes, I do agree that singing abilities are very important and should be a huge priority for someone who wants to be considered a vocal artist or someone who specializes in vocals, but K-pop is different, and I disagree with the comment that if you can't sing then you will look untalented, because hey, dance is a completely different art form in itself. Not all dancers are singers and vice versa, but I know Xiumin is talking from a K-pop perspective and for the K-pop industry, industry. He doesn't mean that all dancers have to sing just in general and vice versa. I just have to clarify that because a lot of people have been really mad at him in the comments of articles about what he said. And while we're on that topic, in my personal opinion, and potentially controversial opinion, I think a lot of people online were so outraged by Xiumin's comments because they kind of took them a little bit too personally, when Xiumin himself never aimed his remarks at any artist in particular. It's important to remember that Xiumin himself is a very experienced idol, who is a member of one of the strongest vocalist groups of third gen, dare I say every K-pop gen. EXO are renowned for their vocal abilities, and he is speaking to trainees competing for a place in a group under the same label. So when he speaks on the importance of vocal abilities, he's not specifically targeting your faves. He's speaking from a place of experience, from spending years in an environment where vocal skills and abilities have been a very important topic. Okay, I'm excited to talk about this next part in case you haven't already noticed. Does the K-pop industry prioritize dance over singing? This was something I haven't even really considered before until these comments from Xiumin, to be honest. But then it did actually get me thinking a lot about why a more senior idol felt the need to say this. And that's because there has previously been a lot of emphasis on dance within the genre of K-pop, because that's kind of what has separated it from similar genres such as pop. Pop in the West used to include a lot more choreographies many years ago, but I think in recent years, perhaps not so much, and there has now been more of a focus towards vocal talents within the pop industry instead. I won't name any names in particular because we will be here all day, but I think a good contrast to look at would be how we had a heck of a lot more boy and girl groups in the West perhaps in the 90s and 2000s who released pop music accompanied by a choreography, but then from like the 2010s onwards, finding Western groups who do full-out choreographies within their pop industry music has been a lot more uncommon, except for maybe a few groups that I can think of off the top of my head, and it's two. Although Western pop moved away from the era where it was expected to accompany a song with choreography, and we had a rise of more groups focusing perhaps on their vocal and even rap abilities, it would be very interesting to even consider K-pop going in the same direction, but I'm not convinced it ever will. K-pop is just so renowned for that full package, the singing, the dancing, the rapping. That's what has separated K-pop from all these other genres for aspiring fans. When Western pop turned its back away from focusing on choreographed pop songs, K-pop has always stayed true to this because it's what the people wanted. When I first got into K-pop, I always wondered why so many groups seemed to have 5 or 7 members, until I realized something that I think any choreographer would agree with. It's easier to choreograph a dance for an uneven amount of people that would look good on the eye, because you can always have one person in the center and an even amount of people on either side. This wouldn't so much be an issue for a group who are more focused on their vocals and raps more than what they can offer as performers. So now when I see a new group debut, I always think more about how many members they're going to have and what this will mean in terms of their direction, what their label is looking to market them as specialists in, what they've put more focus on the importance of. Will it be more focusing on rap, vocals, dance, or all three? That isn't to say that groups with 4 members can't dance or groups with 7 members can't sing, of course not. But if a label wants audiences to think they're debuting a group who are able to put on a performance visually, it would make more sense to give them an odd number of members, just to make their job easier when preparing any stages. If they want the audience to focus on them as a strong vocalist group, rather than putting the attention on dance, then you wouldn't even need to consider this, and a group having an even number of members would be no stress. To summarize what I'm realizing is a huge tangent, I think this kind of shows that yes, there is a huge focus on dance within the K-pop industry, and there is a potential that the importance of making sure the dance requirement is fulfilled to meet fan expectations does push it to a point where sometimes decisions influence priority on dance more than in the favor of vocals. Especially nowadays when, like we kind of touched upon earlier, social media sites such as TikTok are on the rise when it comes to common showcasing of dance abilities. It's easier for people to put up a quick 60-second video of them doing a dance that's easy to pick up, with the hopes that it will gain traction and take off in popularity. But do you think K-pop is prioritizing dance over singing in terms of importance? Well, this is where you come in. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. We've discussed the importance and impact that dance has on the K-pop industry and perhaps decision making, but do you think that dance ability takes priority in the K-pop industry over factors such as vocals, rap abilities, or even visuals? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Okay guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching if you got this far. This was kind of a different video for me. I feel like I'm just talking. Like I'm just like having a chat with a friend and I'm like rambling because the friend has just let me carry on rambling. So I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of video. If you did, please let me know in the comments down below and give this video a thumbs up. If you're new here and haven't yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button down below and turn on the notification bell. That should let you be the first to hear whenever I upload. Now I'll see you next time. Bye guys!